It is Monday, which means the new White Lotus episode has just aired. Let's talk about episode 7, and it's going to be a pretty long video because there's actually a lot of things I want to discuss. Now, before I even start, I do want to say this was actually surprisingly not my favorite episode, and I'm actually surprised by that because usually the episode before the finale, for me, I always feel, like on edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, because the next episode in the White Lotus franchise always means somebody's going to die, and we have no clue or no idea. But for some reason, I'm weirdly at peace for whatever's going to happen next week, which is crazy because I usually am not. All right, so let's start with the storyline. I am so sorry to the Belinda fans, but I think Belinda is dumb. If it were me, I would have taken that $100,000 from Greg and I would have ran, okay? Like, what do you mean? I didn't see a Tanya. Tanya who? What? $100,000? Like, she could have gone, she could have started her business. But, I mean, I understand the fear and just discussion is like, she doesn't want to be involved in any shady business deals if they come after him. So, granted, it is kind of justified, but honestly, Belinda, girl, you should have just took the 100,000. That's just me, though. And you know what? Maybe I am underestimating Belinda. She is a very intelligent woman. She's working at the White Lotus, multiple different, franchises, areas in the world. So, hey, maybe she's smarter than what I give her credit for. But if it were me, I would have taken that $100,000. You wouldn't hear a word Tanya. Nothing would get out and it would be done. I would never look at Greg. I would probably have left the night he gave me $100,000, period. Now, let's get to my favorite storyline, which is always involving these three. Now, first of all, before I even discuss it, I do want to say, I think they were purposely set up to sit like this for a reason. You see Lori on one side, Jacqueline on another, and Kate, the instigator, being in the middle. This is absolutely done intentionally to me. I think the sort of like the directors and the writers in this, ultimately, they want you to see that it's the fight between Jacqueline and Lori, and Kate is an instigator, someone who tries to pretend she's neutral, even though in this sort of like case, she's siding with Jacqueline. Also, I had a Mean Girls theory about these three, about how Jacqueline sort of acts like a Regina George, and Lori is kind of like a Gretchen, and Kate is sort of like a Karen, and it kind of played out to me completely, knowing that Jacqueline has already like previously had past relationships with people that Lori has been involved with, and just sort of like Kate's, lack of, I don't really care, I just want to keep, my friendship with Jacqueline. Her prioritizing Jacqueline over Lori in many cases was just very interesting to me. And it really is similar to the dynamic between Regina George, Karen, and Gretchen to me, even though I feel like Lori is more of a cross between Gretchen and Katie Heron. The most disturbing thing though to me last night was when Jacqueline and Kate, so obviously Lori doesn't come back to the villa for a long time, and Kate that's a real friend to me. Kate was worrying oh, she's not picking up the phone, we need to figure out, and then Jacqueline is like, why? We don't have to worry about her. Listen, girl code, go code. Whenever you are out of the country with a group of girlfriends, we are always going to go home together. I don't care if we are in a fight or whatever. We are meant to be together. And it's just so weird that Jacqueline was like, we don't have to care about her. So what? We got an argument. I don't care what type of arguments we are in. Me and you, we are going back to our hotel room and we can hate each other, but at least we're both alive. Now, moving on to Rick, I kind of got disinterested in the storyline because I kind of just get back to Chelsea at this point. But I am actually happy that he finally confronted the guy that murdered his father, even though I feel like he was trying to tell him more. And I feel like Rick at some point was kind of it really wasn't that worth it. It really wasn't worth it. Just badgering, pistol whipping an old guy. But in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking this is going to hurt Rick, because you can't just pistol whip people, especially someone like that with power, and not think it's not going to come back to you. Especially in I don't know, I would have respected if he, look, don't quote me, but I would have respected if he, offed him a little, you can't just pistol whip people and throw them on the ground and not expect retaliation. And the fact that they were not discreet about that at all, and he dumped the gun where he did, I don't know. The odds of him or Chelsea, being the body, to me, it's very high right now, especially given the previews that we saw. Now, moving on to the rat lifts and some of the other stuff that happened, the dialogue between Saxon and his father, and honestly, I sympathize and I empathize. And it's crazy because I don't even really like Saxon as a character, but him saying that, is there anything wrong with the business, and that you built me into this, and that this is who I am, and like I have nothing without our family business. Like everything has to be okay. And we know this is the end of the vacation. We know that everything is not okay, that he's being raided by the FBI. Like by the time they get back, if they even go back, it's going to be horrible for their family. And none of them even know because they took the phones, which, oh my gosh, I hate that they took the phone. Let me explain. And that's the thing, like, why would they take the phone away from us? Like, that is one of the things that I really loved about Tim and the Ratliff storyline, is that every single episode, or like every other episode, we would see like how much worse it was getting for him, and the fact that like the FBI was coming, and like he needs to get new representation of that. Like they keep calling the office, and he's like he fled the country, and now now it's episode 8, and we have no clue what his perception is back home. We have no clue if they're gonna even be able to go home. Like I want to see what happens. I want him to get his phone back, and I wanted him to get his phone back last night just so we could see like where we are in the story. But I guess we'll have to wait till episode 8. But going back to what Saxon was saying, that he has nothing without their family, like, I just, like, as someone who has sort of, like, been raised in, like, a similar way, not with, like, incest or anything, but sort of in a similar way that you have to be, like, responsible and have to, you know, take care of, like, your family business and, like, be, you know, the one out there defending yourself, etc. Like, I really empathize with this character, and I actually thought Patrick Schwarzenegger did such a great job vocalizing that sort of pain. I think a lot of people probably empathize with what he was saying, and it made me feel bad, which is crazy because Saxon is a weird character. And even to talk about Saxon, okay, I am a Rick and Chelsea shipper down. I think that they are soulmates. I think they're cute, whatever. But there was a little spark here. Like, I don't want to lie. I'm not going to be fake, y'all. But listen, there was a little spark here. And there's a reason why Chelsea had to be like, hey, I have a man. Like, they were... Listen, he tried to compare her to a gold digger at first, and she was like, hey, no, I actually love Rick for who he is. Like, we're soulmates. He actually told me about his life story, and that's why we're still together. But then when they get back to the villa and they start meditating, and like it became a whole different story. And that's why Chelsea had to be like, hey, no, I'm worried. I'm thinking about Rick. Yeah, you gotta go. Bye. Here's some books. Like, there was absolutely some chemistry there. I know I'm not crazy. I don't ship it. I'm not crazy. But there was something there, and that's why she had to call it off. Bringing it back to Piper and Lachlan, honestly, I felt like there's first of all, I was really scared about their scenes because I thought this was going to be something that we saw last week. And, you know, HBO is very graphic. I was very scared that we were going to have to see a certain, like, if you understand what I'm trying to imply with these connotations. But anyways, I don't know, like, this was kind of like a big sister, little brother moment, in my opinion. Like it's so, I think, normal in, like, media, and probably for people who have, like, younger siblings in real life, that, you know, you always want to be with, like, your older sibling. You always want to, you know, copy them or whatever. It was really cute, but also, I feel like Piper didn't want him to come. I think she wanted to be the only one on her own self-discovery, and I think that might signify sort of, like, the relationship that Piper and, like, Lachlan have with their families. I always feel like Lachlan in this season has always, like, mirrored the family member, in particular the sibling he's with. So, like, when he's with Saxon, he always has to, you know, like, sort of up and, like, really feel this whole, like, toxic or, like, masculinity thing, versus when he's with Piper, he's kind of like, no, I'm the shy little brother, and I want to just, you know, follow you, big sis, and something like that. It feels like he sort of, like, mirrors whichever sibling he's with, and he was with Piper, so he was, like, the little shy, you know, dorky little brother that she's always known. I'm almost done. It's a really long video, y'all, but Guy Talk finally figured out who the robbers were, but I feel like Monk is in it. Lalisa, I know you're in on it. But anyways, the fact that he finally realized it was the Russian guys, which I knew it was the Russian guys, but, like, I didn't want to assume. But I knew it was them. Like, it was so obvious. The way they move, the movements, the hand, like, it was so obvious it was the Russian guys. And I'm glad that Guy Talk finally figured it out, because I just feel like it's about but now we're at the end of the series. I feel like it's about to pop off next episode, and, like, it's all gonna be because Guy Talk didn't realize earlier enough that this is who stole from or took the snake and all the artifacts from the store. And yeah, also that robbery happened, like, a long time ago. Like, that was, like, I feel like I've lived several lives since that episode. Even talking about the episode again and how Jacqueline is a horrible friend. But anyways, like, the fact that she also now knows that they stole from that store, like, that's crazy, is it not? Oh my gosh, like, I think it's hilarious. And I hope she tells Guy Talk, or she alerts security so that those people go to jail. But I think that might be why things might pop off, because maybe Lori tells the hotel staff, and then the Russian guys are like, we gotta get you. So, hey, let's figure it out. And ultimately, that's why I love The White Lotus so much, because all of this happened, and this is a 9-minute video, but I still, like, it's not one of my favorite episodes, which is crazy, but I think it speaks to how Mike White is as a writer and why he's a great director. Now, I want to leave this discussion to you. If you stayed the entire time, thanks for watching, and let me know how you feel about The White Lotus Season 3, who's gonna die. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in my next nerdy pop culture updates video. Peace. And make sure you follow me so you can become a lucky charm. Bye!